Welcome back. Let me ask you something that may feel uncomfortable. Have you ever noticed that the more attention you gave someone, the less they seem to value it? Yet the moment you stopped reaching out, stopped explaining yourself, and became quiet, they suddenly notice your absence. That shift is not always about manipulation. It often reflects a simple truth about human behavior. People can become accustomed to what is constantly available, but they become aware of what is no longer there. Many people spend far too much energy chasing approval, affection, or validation from others. They wait for replies, overthink every conversation, and try harder each time they feel ignored. Unfortunately, this often creates an unhealthy imbalance. When your happiness depends on someone else's attention, you slowly give away your own sense of control. Real strength begins when you stop seeking validation from people who are unwilling to give it freely. The Stoic philosophers understood this lesson centuries ago. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that we have power over our own minds, not over the actions of other people. That means you cannot control whether someone values you, but you can control your response. Instead of wasting energy trying to change others, invest that energy in becoming someone who is grounded, disciplined, and emotionally independent. When you stop chasing, something important changes inside you. Your focus shifts away from convincing others of your worth and toward recognizing your own value. You stop checking your phone every few minutes. Stop waiting for someone to notice you, and begin building a life that feels meaningful regardless of who stays or leaves. This isn't about making people regret losing you. It's about refusing to lose yourself. Silence can become one of your greatest strengths when it comes from confidence rather than resentment. Not every misunderstanding requires an explanation, and not every criticism deserves a response. Constantly reacting to every situation gives others control over your emotions. Calmness, on the other hand, reflects self-mastery. When you remain composed instead of reacting impulsively, you protect your peace and maintain your dignity. Rather than spending your time wondering why someone ignored you, invest that time in improving yourself. Strengthen your body, sharpen your mind, develop new skills, pursue meaningful goals, and build financial stability. Every hour spent growing is an hour invested in your future. A purposeful life naturally leaves less room for unhealthy attachment and unnecessary worry. As you continue to grow, you begin to realize that your value does not come from being constantly available. It comes from living with purpose, integrity, and discipline. People naturally respect those who respect themselves. The more fulfilled your own life becomes, the less you depend on others to define your happiness. Learning to control your emotions is another essential part of personal strength. Anger, desperation, and anxiety may feel overwhelming, but they do not have to control your decisions. Emotional maturity means pausing before reacting, thinking before speaking, and choosing actions that align with your principles rather than your temporary feelings. Calmness is not weakness. It is evidence of inner strength. Healthy boundaries are equally important. If you allow people to repeatedly disrespect your time, your energy, or your kindness without consequences, you unintentionally teach them that your boundaries do not matter. Respect begins with what you are willing to accept. Choosing to step away from unhealthy relationships is not an act of cruelty. It is an act of self-respect. Many people fear being alone because they mistake solitude for loneliness. In reality, solitude can become one of the greatest opportunities for growth. Time spent alone allows you to reflect, learn, heal, and develop a stronger relationship with yourself. Marcus Aurelius often described the mind as a place of peace that no external circumstance could take away. When you become comfortable in your own company, you no longer depend on constant attention from others. Protecting your peace also means accepting that not everyone will understand your choices. Some people may misunderstand your silence or question your distance. You do not need to explain every decision or defend every boundary. Your life is not a courtroom where you must constantly present evidence to justify your actions. Quiet confidence often speaks louder than lengthy explanations. The strongest people are not those who win every argument. They are the ones who remain steady despite disappointment, rejection, or criticism. They understand that true confidence comes from within, not from the approval of others. They continue moving forward without allowing negativity to determine the direction of their lives. Remember the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius. Spend less time talking about what a good person should be and simply become one. Build your character through discipline, kindness, integrity, and self-respect. Let your actions reflect your values. Let your peace remain protected. Let your growth become your greatest achievement. At the end of the day, your greatest responsibility is not to earn everyone's approval, but to remain true to yourself. Choose calm over chaos, purpose over distraction, and self-respect over constant validation. Keep moving forward with confidence. Continue investing in your growth, and never forget that your worth is determined by your character, not by the attention or opinions of others.